Well, hello there. Woodsong back again with another Woodsong Tarot reading. I'm back here in Arthur Story Park in Houston. You may remember a few weeks ago, I did a reading from here, and I had found a large Yang Yin symbol, which I called a mandala at the time. I was incorrect. And I was curious why it was there. Well, I found out why that symbol's there. I'm not actually doing the reading from the symbol right now because they have some people playing volleyball on it. So I'm at a little table off to the side. But anyway, the symbol came about. This area of Houston has a very large Asian influence, a large Asian population. In fact, many of the street signs in this area are in Chinese, they're not in English. There's some wonderful Asian markets, lots of fun stores and things like that. But a group of Tai Chi practitioners used to gather in this park weekly or sometimes even daily to practice their Tai Chi exercises. And a park commissioner saw them here and said, well, gee, wouldn't it be neat if we had something special for them to use to practice on? So that's why they built the large Yang Yin system and symbol. And that group does their Tai Chi exercises on that symbol every morning now. So if you look at the image, you'll see a URL pop up in the corner. If you go to that URL, it's a Google Earth image that shows what this park looks like from a very high altitude, and you can see that Yang Yin symbol in the image. It's kind of neat. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right on into the reading. We're going to do 3 cards again. We're going to look to try to form some continuous, some coherent thought, some message from these 3 particular cards. And we're going to start off with the 5 of Pentacles. Now, you may notice this is not the deck I normally use. This is actually the Hanson Roberts deck as opposed to the Robin Woods deck. I use this deck quite often when I'm doing readings for younger people. The images in it are not as severe, not as intense. They're a lot more friendly. And I just grabbed this deck when I left today, so I figured we'd go ahead and use it. So let's talk about the 5 of Pentacles. If we look at it, we see somebody who looks like they're in pretty dire circumstances. They're dressed in rags. One of them has a crutch. They look like they're in bad shape, wounded. They may have certain ailments, and it's cold. We can see the snow. We can see ice on the windowsill, and they're not very comfortable sitting out there outside that building there in the cold. This card has a very interesting meaning to it, and the meaning is basically, why in the world are these people out there in the cold when there's this nice warm building in back of them that they could go into? And it sounds kind of simple and kind of obvious, but it's funny that a lot of us do that. We find ourselves in circumstances that we don't like, we don't enjoy, we're not comfortable there, and yet rather than trying to change them, we just accept it. We say, okay, well, this is the way it is. This is where I'm going to stay. I hate my job. I'm going to stay here. I don't like these people, but I'm going to continue to associate with them. I don't like what I'm doing in life, but I'm not going to do anything to change it. That's the same thing that these people do when they accept the staying outside in the snow. If we don't like our circumstances, we can always look around and find opportunities. We can always find ways we can improve them. But we have to take action. We have to look around and find them. If we don't, we're just accepting, the dire circumstances or the unpleasant condition that we might find ourselves in. We don't have to accept that. Let's see what the next message goes, where it brings us. Okay, well, this image here, the 3 of Swords, you can kind of look at it and kind of get a feel for what it means. This is heartbreak. This is sadness. And this to me suggests that if we do decide to accept an unpleasant condition, this is where it leads us. We complain about things. We're unpleasant. We're unhappy about our situation. But we've accepted our situation. We've said, well, I'm not going to do anything to change it, but I'm going to be unhappy about it. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you've decided to accept it, well, now it's your responsibility. It's not anybody else's fault. It's yours alone. And this is where you might find yourself should you do that. So we might want to cast our eyes around and look and see, what can we do to change our situation? What can we do to improve things? And let's see where this goes. And we have the Lovers. This card rarely actually means the Lovers. What it really means is choices. We have the opportunity to make choices. And quite often that choice is between something we know and we're familiar with, like maybe an unpleasant condition we find ourselves in. We might not like it, but it's comfortable to us. We know it. We understand it. We're not taking a risk by trying to change it. The Lovers, the other choice is take a risk. Do something to change it. Try something new. And you might find yourself in better circumstances. So if we put these cards together, we do get the message that if we find ourselves in a situation where we don't like it, it's unpleasant, it's not comfortable, we don't want to be here, we have to ask, well, how long have we been here? Have we been accepting it? Are we doing anything to change it? And if we don't like where we are, we can always look for choices that can lead us out of there. Now, sometimes that choice won't get us out of there right away. Sometimes it's a procession. Sometimes it's a progression. So we may not be able to get from A to Z right away, but we can get from A to B, and then we can get from B to C, and then we can get from C to D, and so on, until we're finally going all the way up to Z. So we can always make choices that that begin us on a journey that's going to improve our circumstances. But it's up to us to take that first step, to make that first choice. And that's kind of the message we have for today. If you find yourself in places where you don't like, think about what you can do to change it. You can change it, but it's up to you to do it. It's not going to happen automatically. Someone else isn't going to do it, and it's not someone else's fault if you find yourself in that situation. You can always improve your condition. And that's the message for today. I appreciate everybody hanging around, and I'll talk to you again later. Take care. Bye-bye.